After going through this video, you will be able to explain the importance of database related functions in PHP, explain the communication between client, server and the DBMS, install PHP extension in Linux OS. Imagine yourself in some other country where the language is different from our own countries. How difficult would it be to buy stuff, ask for directions, or even to order a cup of tea? You would wish if you had a list to help you out with all these things. Wouldn't that be amazing? Similarly, when we talk about communicating with databases, things seem easy because we have PHP functions that help us execute SQL queries to communicate with the database. So in this video, we will understand about these PHP functions and how we can use them to store and fetch data from a database. To start with, let us go back to the college placement example where we used SQL queries to enter and fetch data from the database. Here, we took a small amount of data to understand the concept. What would happen if we had to add data of 1000 new students who have joined the college? Wouldn't it be tiring and a time-taking task for us to have to manually enter the data 1000 times? This means we have to manually execute 1000 SQL queries to enter the data of 1000 students. To our rescue, we have PHP, through which we can run these SQL queries automatically. This means whenever a new student is placed, the student is automatically added with the help of PHP. Before we begin with the PHP functions, we need to first develop an understanding of how the communication occurs between the client and the database. First, as we know, the browser initiates an HTTP request to the web server for a PHP file. Then the web server will find the PHP file on its computer. As it is a PHP file, the web server will start executing the file as PHP is a backend language. While executing the file, the web server encounters some PHP code that wants to communicate with the database or the DBMS with the help of SQL queries. The DBMS will fetch the data based on the request and will send the response back to the PHP code. One interesting fact here, the PHP is making a request to the DBMS asking for some data. This means PHP is acting as a client to the DBMS. And once the entire PHP file is executed, the response is sent to the browser, which then renders it and displays it. Now, let us come to another interesting part of this video, where we will have a look at some of the built-in PHP functions that help us to communicate with the DBMS. In short, we call them database-related functions. If you are a Linux user, we need to first install a PHP extension before we start communicating with the database. To do this, open the terminal. Enter the command sudo apt-get install php mysql. Here, php mysql is the extension which we want to install. You can also find this command below the video. Just copy and paste it in your terminal. Next, run the command and enter your password if prompted. Press Y to confirm. After this, it might take some time to complete the installation depending on your internet's bandwidth. Once the installation is complete, we need to go to this folder location. Now locate the file php.ini and open it in the edit mode. To open the file in edit mode, you need to enter cd space hash etc hash php hash 7.4 hash apache 2. Note that here the version is 7.4. If you are using a different version, please change the value in the command accordingly. Now enter sudo gedit php.ini. This will open the file in the edit mode. Next, we will search for the line with the extension equal to mysqli. Remove the semicolon and save and exit the file. Lastly, we will restart the Apache using sudo service apache 2 restart command. Now, we will be able to use some of the built-in PHP functions to communicate with the database. Next, for the users using Windows operating system, we don't need to install anything as the PHP comes with some built-in database related functions. In the next video, we will look at some of the most widely used built-in database related functions that are used to communicate with the DBMS.